You know how sometimes you think you have a great idea, and maybe you do have a great idea, and you think you know how you're gonna get from idea to finished product. And then you go to actually execute that idea, and you just can't do it. There's just the things that you thought, oh, I'll just do this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Yeah, just because you've watched other people do something doesn't mean that you can do it yourself. And that I'm finding with a video I'm trying to edit right now. I had this brilliant idea the other day to create this really cool like video with Beckett, my son, where we were washing the Jeep. So we were gonna wash the Jeep. I had the GoPro set up. I had my Nikon set up. We were filming, had 2 cameras. I was shooting some stuff in 120 frames per second so I could slow it down. So the GoPro was going back and forth between shooting 4K footage and then at 24 and then shooting, I think it's probably 1080p at 120. So I get done with that, filming it. This was several weeks ago. I remember I loaded all the footage, dumped the footage from the cards, put it on a drive on my computer, and then what I've been doing in Premiere is when I upload photos or go to edit videos, I'm creating proxies for all my footage. So I bring in 2 folders worth of footage, right? It's probably a dozen files, but to me it might as well be 3,000. Media encoder pops up. There's this whole list of files that it's going through and it's encoding, and that takes a little bit to do, and then it's done. And then I open up Premiere and then go to start editing, and I didn't get further than 5 or 6 like still frames sequenced together for the intro, and then I was just like, what do I do now? Like, in my head I've got music playing, the beat of the music is where I'm going to cut from still frame 1 to still frame 2 to still frame 3. What type of music should I use? Do I need to pick the song first, or do I need to edit the footage first? How do I bring in footage from 2 different cameras and cut them, and not even cut them together, but how do I like comprehend what footage I have and what I want to use? And I've been working on this for probably an hour now. I've got Storyblocks open on my PC. I've got Premiere Pro open. I'm searching for music. And what I'm realizing is that I spend a lot of time consuming videos created by professional videographers, right? Whether it's Casey Neistat, Maddie, Peter. So when you watch their videos, and even if they are doing a tutorial and teaching you about how to make videos, the footage is done, or the video is put together at such a high level that since you see it so much, it's almost like, oh yeah, I could definitely do that. Absolutely, I've seen somebody else do it, so I could definitely do it. And I can't. It's just not that easy. This is too big of a project for me. This is too much content for me to try to cut together. I mean, I was working through it and I was getting somewhere, but it wasn't really what I was hoping for when I first thought about the project. And what that is that's the creative gap, right? Between where my ideas are and where my abilities are. And the only way to close that gap is to keep doing the work, obviously. But I have other videos that I've shot footage for since then. I mean, I probably filmed this 3 weeks ago. So I've got a video that I want to produce about Becca and I camping in the rooftop tent on the Jeep. I've got some videos on Stephen Pressfield's book, The War of Art. I've got some videos on some other stuff. But if I try to create this, if I just stick to this and say, no, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, it will take me forever. And I don't think the output will be what I want. I think I'll end up under-delivering, not even meeting my own expectations, but also wasting a tremendous amount of time where I could be cycling through other content and creating more content. And I think that for this one specifically, we gotta just shelf this idea. Like, we just gotta come back to fight another day. Just gotta save this project and bookmark this footage and get back into some of what I'm comfortable with. And what I don't mean you shouldn't push yourself. Absolutely, you should push yourself. But I think going from 0 to 100 is a terrible idea. I think with each video, one, getting more comfortable just talking on the camera, getting more comfortable putting the footage together, getting more comfortable cutting between your primary camera and your B-roll, or even just filming B-roll, or, you know, how to even think about what B-roll might be. You know, and how do you pick the tracks that you want to put with the music? How do you properly do your introductions? How do you close the video out? How do you kind of build a story? Like, all of these things I know I should do. I just don't really know how to do them. So I think for this, this is a great example of the creative gap. I can't close that gap, not right now, not through sitting here banging my head against this computer. I mean, that wouldn't be smart. Banging my head against the desk, spare the computer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna save this footage, I'm gonna save this project, and maybe I'll come back to it in 3 months or 6 months after I've made 10, 20, 30 more videos where the format is much simpler, but I can slowly start to build a skill set so I could tackle something that is much bigger like this. Yeah, so I don't know if that's something you're dealing with. I know for me, it's easy to, you kind of ramp up and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, these videos, yeah, I got it. I've got the settings down. I can cut the video. I can do this. Oh, I'm starting to do these transitions. That's cool. And before you know it, you think that you can take on anything. Then you try to, and it's like, wait a minute, whoa, that's too much. Let me ratchet that back. And what I would just say is, don't let that discourage you, right? I 100% cannot do this right now. It doesn't mean I'll never be able to do this. It just means I can't do it right now. And that I need to work on building my skill set so that I can come back and tackle something like this, right? So that it's not a stretch. So it is something that I can say, okay, well, I know how to do 80% of this. Maybe there's 20% that I need to focus on to finish this project up. Right now, I only know 20%. I'd have to learn the other 80% in order just to release this one video. I just don't think that's time well spent. So what I would challenge you to do, or at least think about, is where might you be overextending? And might that overextension really just be an excuse for you to not create? So if it is, try to pivot, try to bring your expectations a little bit more in line with what you're used to. Still obviously try to push that envelope, but do it in increments that are realistic, right? So that you're putting out the work, and the work is improving. You're not trying to skip from here to here just because you've seen other people do it, right? Because I can tell you, in my head, this video is amazing. But in reality, it would never be if I made it right now. So those are my thoughts on the creative gap and how I'm running into it right now. So if you can relate to that, you know, leave a message in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're doing with those. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Drop a like if you like this video, if you can relate. And we'll catch you guys next time. See ya.